Welcome to History Flicks English. I'm your host, and today we're diving into the brilliant invention that literally illuminated the modern world. We take it for granted every single day, right? But the journey to get here was, well, it was nothing short of extraordinary.
So I want you to imagine something for a second. What if the sun went down and you couldn't just reach over to the wall and flip a switch? Imagine a world plunged into total, complete darkness every single night. Just think about the sensory deprivation of that reality. For most of human history, the moment the sun set, our active lives effectively hit a brick wall. Our days were strictly dictated by the rotation of the Earth, and bringing any sort of light into the dark, man, that was a serious, laborious challenge.
Chapter 1. The Age of Darkness. Before electricity, people depended heavily on candles, oil lamps, and gas lights just to see after sunset. But here's the catch. These sources of light had some major drawbacks. They were incredibly dim, way too expensive to maintain, and, perhaps most importantly, they were a constant fire hazard. Imagine having to rely on an open flame just to read a book or walk down your hallway. These primitive lighting methods caused countless devastating fires throughout early cities and towns. It was just a really dangerous, expensive way to live.
Section 2. Early Sparks of Innovation.
In the early 19th century, scientists already knew electricity could produce light. The real challenge, making it bright, safe, and actually long-lasting. Right at the start of our timeline, in the early 1800s, British scientist Humphry Davy demonstrated an electric arc lamp. And it was a massive breakthrough. It was incredibly bright, but it consumed way too much electricity to be practical for everyday homes or businesses. So over the following decades, inventors around the entire globe just kept experimenting. They were all searching for a better solution, which ultimately paved the way for 1879 when Thomas Edison and British inventor Joseph Swan developed successful incandescent lamps. So, as you can see, this wasn't a one-man show. It was a highly iterative, step-by-step global effort.
Moving on to Section 3, the incandescent breakthrough.
Okay, so what exactly is an incandescent light bulb? Essentially, it's a practical lamp that produces light by heating a filament, like carbon for instance, until it burns steadily for many hours without just instantly burning up. And this is exactly what made the 1879 incandescent lamps by Edison and Swan such a monumental, world-altering leap forward in technology. For the first time ever, we had a safe, practical way to literally hold light in a glass container.
And getting there wasn't easy. Edison's team tested literally thousands of different materials before finding the perfect carbon filament that lasted long enough for everyday use. We're talking thousands of failures here. But this perfectly captures the sheer persistence required for this invention. Great inventions aren't just solo sprints, right? They're massive relays of trial and error. American inventor Thomas Edison and British inventor Joseph Swan both made these critical, world-changing contributions around the exact same time, all through this kind of relentless persistence.
Section 4. Building the power grid. Now here is a truly fascinating reality about the light bulb. On its own, it is completely useless. It's literally just a piece of glass and wire if you don't have a reliable way to power it. And this is where Edison's system-level genius really shined. Homes and businesses needed a reliable ecosystem to generate and distribute that electricity. Edison didn't just stop at the bulb. He helped develop the entire electrical infrastructure. He's building the power stations to generate the juice, the complex electrical wiring to deliver it, the switches to control it, and complete lighting systems. He engineered the whole shebang, making electric light practical not just for a fancy science lab, but for millions of everyday people.
The impact of that massive infrastructure was immediate and absolutely extraordinary. With reliable light, our entire society shifted. Cities became brighter and vastly safer at night. Factories could suddenly operate longer hours, drastically increasing production. Schools, hospitals, and homes all benefited from reliable lighting, which directly improved education, healthcare, and just everyday daily life. The invention of the light bulb completely transformed the fundamental ways people lived, worked, and even traveled.
Which brings us to Section 5, transforming the modern world.
As technology advanced, those early, energy-hungry incandescent bulbs were eventually followed by fluorescent lamps, then halogen bulbs, and now, today's modern LED lights. Just compare the two. Those early incandescent bulbs were relatively short-lived and consumed a ton of electricity. But today's modern LED lights, they use far less electricity, they last significantly longer, and they actively help reduce global energy consumption. They are the highly evolved descendants of those early sparks of innovation from Davy, Swan, and Edison.
This entire journey perfectly captures a core truth, summed up well right here.
The history of the light bulb reminds us that great inventions are often built on years of experimentation, persistence, and collaboration. Today, we just flip a switch and instantly fill a room with light. We totally take it for granted. But behind that mundane, everyday action lies decades of relentless collaboration and the tireless work of many, many brilliant inventors. It didn't just brighten our homes, it literally illuminated our path to the modern world.
So, I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder today. What will be the next world-changing invention built on decades of teamwork? As you look around your brightly lit room right now, ask yourself, what modern problem are we currently throwing thousands of failed experiments at, just waiting for that next breakthrough? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and we'll see you next time.